Welcome back, I changed seats. Welcome back to our challenge today at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. I am Dennis Geisler. Venonat and Pikachu are here with me. There's the change. I switched seats just to bother Troy. We have a 1-0 match here between Abigail Watson and Brandon Davis. Two very good players. Both have won here in the past. Abby running the Christmas Crimes team, Articuno, Alolan Ninetales, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Incineroar, and that is Teal Mask Ogerpon. Very interesting one. We will see how much that one ends up coming into play here. But on the other end, Brandon is running Indeedee Female, Iron Clown, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Incineroar, Fluttermane, and Ursaluna. Off the rip, Iron Crown is really, really good against this team. And so I would imagine Brandon has plans to make that a big part of the proceedings here. We will get the Incineroar and the Ogerpon off the start for Abby. On Brandon's side, it's the Fluttermane and the Indeedee. Immediately, I mean, the issue with Teal Mask Ogerpon is you do just feel like you're sitting there sometimes. It's not bad, but I mean, you're just not threatening a whole lot right now. No Defiant boost, none of the Adrenaline Orb boost. Look at the Indeedee clicking that Helping Hand. Fluttermane moves next. Let's see what it goes for. Spiky Shield from the Ogerpon. So Fluttermane will go for the Dazzling Gleam. Try to do a solid chunk here to Incineroar. It is the Assault Vest, though, so it's going to take plenty of damage, and Snarl will weaken the Fluttermane and break the Sash. So not a bad first turn for Abby. If she can kind of clear the field out a little bit, I would imagine it's the Dondozo and Tatsugiri in the back, which is a better matchup for the Iron Crown than the Articuno and Ninetales are. So it's plausible to kind of move forward in this one. Brandon's just going to keep clicking that Helping Hand. See if it's the Gleam again. It is the Gleam again. Just wearing down this team, doing some damage here. The Ivy Cudgel goes into the Indeedee, not enough to KO. The Snarl from the Incineroar. This is Snarl Incineroar. I didn't really properly appreciate that. This is Snarl instead of Knockoff on the Incineroar, which is another way to handle some of these more specially offensive teams and Pokemon, including this Fluttermane. Also, do have to be a little worried about the terrain. How much time you have left on that one for Brandon. But we'll see. Ooh, the Fluttermane will switch out here. Be a bit of a dangerous play. It's the Ogerpon coming in. That's the Wellspring. And Abby will Terra here. The Terra Grass on that Teal Mask Ogerpon. Don't see this one too often. there she is. Always love seeing all the forms of Ogerpon. The Embody aspect boosts up that speed. And Indeedee will use the Follow Me, so it'll draw away that hit. Ivy Cudgel will launch and take out the Indeedee here. And on the other end, we will see, I believe, Incineroar going for a U-turn here into the Wellspring. That is the play. So we'll see what's in the back now for Abby. That's a lot of damage off the U-turn, too. Abby is getting some real damage down. It is the Dondozo and the Tatsugiri back there. Brandon will find out now if that's what's awaiting. And we'll be able to make the choice here based on it. It is going to be the Iron Crown. We'll boost up with the Quark Drive. It is Booster Special Attack, as you'd kind of expect from this sort of Iron Crown set. Now the question... do we focus the Ogerpon here? Do we focus the Dondozo here? I feel like something like a Follow Me Expanding Force is not I mean, there's no downside to it, but you're also putting yourself in real danger of that Incineroar in the late game, not to mention the Dondozo. Although, keep in mind, this is the defense booster Dondozo, so it does not have Earthquake, which makes it a much rougher matchup against the Iron Crown. You also just see a double protect here. Ooh, protects from the Ogerpons. Will the Dondozo protect as well? Yes, it will. So that was just a double protect for Abby, which is a little bit scary. There's the Expanding Force. It is just stalling out turns of the Psychic Terrain, as I mentioned earlier, starting to get close to expiring, which will seriously weaken the damage that Iron Crown is able to put out. But let's see what the choice is here. Potentially, can Brandon make a read out of this? Because Abby's playing this really meticulously right now, but there's going to be a big turn. This is where it'll be. Incineroar comes in here, so it's the lead back out for Abby. Gets the Intimidate down onto the Ogerpon on Brandon's side. Ooh, double protect there from Brandon's Ogerpon. Interesting choice there. Ivy Cudgel going into that Ogerpon will pick up the KO. What does the Iron Crown go for? It's probably going to be the Expanding Force, which should pick up the Ogerpon here. It will be Expanding Force. Obviously does not affect Incineroar, but will pick up the Ogerpon. So that's a KO there for Brandon. Does leave the Dondozo and the Tatsugiri still hanging around there, and the Psychic Terrain is gone now, so Incineroar also has Fake Out Pressure if it wants it. Fluttermane coming back out here. Sash is broken, keep in mind. And it's the Dondozo coming back out again. Honestly, the Dondozo has the opportunity to kind of play this a little bit slower and potentially just take hits. If I'm Brandon, I really consider doubling into that Incineroar slot. Or even just going for an attack into that. Or going for the double protect. I like that play, actually. Now you get to see what the Incineroar wants to go for, get to see if the Dondozo switches out fairly safely. And now Abby kinda has to choose between losing Incineroar for not a lot or losing Dondozo for not a lot. Or at least losing the pressure that Incineroar has and losing Dondozo. And it will be the Incineroar switching out, forcing in the Tatsugiri. So we are now Commander bonus Christmased up. The question is, does Brandon have enough damage to deal with this Dondozo? I feel like the answer is no, honestly. We will certainly see. We'll also see if the Dondozo is actually faster than the Iron Crown after the boost. We'll see the Terra come out here. Probably going to be... Ooh, it's going to be the Fluttermane going for the Terra Stellar. Trying to get as much damage down onto that Dondozo as possible right now to try to win this one. It does make it a bit more difficult to deal with the Incineroar in the late game, but getting rid of the Dondozo here is really important. That is not a lot of damage. Expanding Force, that's the most damage Crown's going to do to it. It's a little bit over half. It'll be less... Well, it'll be more after the Wave Crash, but... won't get that Moonblast again, because the Fluttermane is gone. And the leftovers will also heal up the Dondozo quite a bit. It's feeling like Abby's in a really good spot to close out this one. Yep, Brandon will forfeit, and Abby's going to win game one. So... a very interesting one there, where Abby did not bring the snow part of the team, which does have a very difficult matchup against this, and kind of leaned on the Incineroar in large part, as well as just getting the Ogerpon spots to get a little bit of work done. I feel like you have to get Crown involved a little bit sooner if you're Brandon, and potentially some sort of answer for Incineroar. Like, offensive answer for Incineroar. The Terra Water Terra Blast is, of course, an option. do have the Ivy Cudgel as well, and Ursaluna, although both of those are a little bit in danger of getting intimidated down. So you might have to do a little bit of switching in the early game. Which is not a terrible thing as well, because Indeedee, the big problem there was losing the Psychic Terrain midway through. Gonna just be the Indeedee Iron Crown off the rip here. Same leads for Abby. I like this lead from Brandon quite a lot. It does put you in a little bit of an awkward spot here, where you have to decide, do you want to go for that Terra Water Terra Blast onto the Incineroar, knowing it will probably not get it in one hit? Do you want to go for the Expanding Force, knowing it will take out the Ogerpon, but that the Ogerpon could protect here? Do you want to Helping Hand to boost the crown? Do you want to follow me to pull away an Ivy Cudgel? You know Snarl is probably coming out as well. A lot of options on Abby's side. Brandon will have to think about what he wants to go for here. Of course, can also do something funky with Protects off the rip. With the Protect on the Iron Crown, although I wonder what the Indeedee would do in that case. Could go for something like a Trick Room. Be a little weird. Crown is just going to hard switch out, so it'll lose the Booster Energy boost. But this could be a nice bonus, and that's the Ursaluna coming in on the other end. Ivy Cudgel comes out expecting a Terra, and instead it does a ton of damage to that Ursaluna there. The Snarl doesn't pick up. It misses the Ursaluna, actually. Does a little chunk to the Indeedee, but Indeedee will get the Trick Room off now. But in exchange for the Ursaluna taking a ton of damage, is burned now as well, so it's on a timer. Question is, how much work can it get done in the meantime? Really wants to be able to get rid of Incineroar here. Abby's options here are really just lose Incineroar or double switch into the Christmas Friends. And in that case, Brandon could read that one and go for something like a Facade into the correct slot, but you have to predict which one the Dondozo will come into. Tatsugiri comes in on the Incineroar, which means Dondozo will enter on the Ogerpon, and that's where the commander will get set up. Did Brandon pick correctly, or did he just click Earthquake, which would hit Indeedee as well? Let's see. In a minute, after we get all the boosts. It's Helping Hand onto the Ursaluna, so this will be boosted, whatever it is. It's Facade, and it's into the wrong slot! Oh, that is brutal for Brandon. Now having to deal with the Ursaluna ticking down even further. Dondozo can just protect to stall out those last couple of turns. Could go for an Order Up to boost up its defenses. This is going to be really difficult for Brandon to get through this now, because there's still the Ursaluna and Ogerpon in the back to deal with. We're going to get the Helping Hand again, going into the Ursaluna. Dondozo protects, so one more turn remaining for the Ursaluna after this one, I believe, based on the burn turns. And we'll just have to see how much damage Facade can do. And it'll just be one. Abby could also go for a greedy double protect here. It would be greedy, but it has a lot of upside. Indeedee goes for the Helping Hand again. Let's see how much the Facade does. Goes into the Dondozo, about half there. Order Up into the Indeedee does a small chunk, but that's what the aim is, kinda, to get that body press going. The leftovers will heal up the Dondozo a bit, and Ursaluna will drop to the burn. And this is getting a little bit awkward for Brandon, as we kinda mentioned. Gotta imagine it is the Fluttermane actually coming in here. We saw Fluttermane Terra Stellar Moonblast do not a ton of damage to Dondozo earlier. Indeedee's going to switch out, going to maintain the Psychic Terrain pressure. Crown will come in. That's the only one that was left. Wave Crash from Dondozo. It is still under Trick Room, and that's a lot of damage, actually, from the Wave Crash. I was not expecting it to do that much to Iron Crown. Dozo takes a bit of a chunk from Moonblast, but Dozo's still in a pretty good spot to at least do a little bit more before it drops. Psychic Terrain down now. Question here, does Dondozo take this Moonblast? It does, and that means that Tatsugiri is going to hit the field clean, which is really important. Dondozo drops here, but now the Choice Scarf Tatsugiri is still around, will still be faster than everything on the field here, and Ogerpon is going to head back out again. Keep in mind, these are the only Pokemon that could possibly deal with the Incineroar here. It's going to be really, really tough to get rid of the Incineroar in this setting, especially with the Iron Crown on such low HP. You might just have to rely on a Muddy Water Miss. Iron Crown's going to switch out, actually, so we're going to get the Psychic Terrain back up. Brandon has not used his Terra yet, so there is still like a Terra Water Terra Blast angle, but it's not enough damage for the Ensign. Maybe it is, but it's going to be real close. We'll see the Terra here from Abby now. It's going to be the Terra Grass Ogerpon once again. That Teal Mask getting work done. Gets the speed boost here, so now both of Abby's Pokemon should be faster than both of Brandon's Pokemon. Fluttermane will just protect out this turn, so it is just kind of the get rid of Indeedee but get the terrain up angle for Brandon, and it might just have to be somebody's got to dodge a Muddy Water. Will not be Indeedee, that's for sure. Indeedee, ooh, actually does take the Muddy Water, which I was not anticipating, actually. Did not realize it had that much HP remaining. Does take that. Does have the ability to follow me now, also, to get the Ogerpon to not target the Flutter, and Brandon will go for the Terra here. It's going to be that Terra Stellar Fluttermane once again. We'll see if it's able to go for a big Gleam. That's the problem, is only that first attack that you get is doing the extra damage, and that means that Ogerpon is not taking the bonus damage. Indeed, he does follow me. We'll see if anything can dodge the Muddy Water here, and we'll see if Muddy Water gets a drop. There is a dodge. Indeed, he dodges. Fluttermane does not. So that is the Sash broken. Does not drop the... Ooh, it doesn't drop the accuracy, but it Moonblasted into the Ogerpon. That might be better. It should maintain the Terra Fairy, or the Terra Stellar Fairy damage boost. And Indeedee will stick around. The problem is you just have to get rid of that Incineroar at some point, and I don't know if Brandon has the tools to do it still. And that's even aside from the fact that Muddy Water still has a chance to pick up an accuracy drop that could really change things as far as what Brandon is even able to do damage-wise. Ogerpon's going to switch out. We'll always have the +1 waiting for it whenever it wants to come back in. Incineroar in again. Fluttermane's big ol' head is blocking the Incineroar, but just trust there was an Incineroar there. Helping Hand comes through. Muddy Water accuracy, going to matter here. Double connects. Picks up the Indeedee. Gets the drop onto the Fluttermane as well. That is big for Abby. Brandon needs to hit this Dazzling Gleam. Does double connect with it. Will KO the Tatsugiri. Does an okay chunk to the Incineroar, but the problem here is that Ogerpon still has the opportunity to come in here, be the fastest Mon on the field. Iron Crown will be the last Pokemon here for Brandon. Last two for both sides. Dozo and Geary were taken out. Fluttermane has the Shadow Ball boost, does not have the boost on the other move. Ivy Cudgel goes into the Iron Crown, will pick up the KO. And I think that'll be it. Don't think there's any way that the Fluttermane can get rid of both these Pokemon here. Moonblast into the Incineroar, not enough to KO. Flare Blitz the other way, that should do it. And Abigail Watson starting out 2-0 against a very, very good player in Brandon Davis. Gets the 2-0 victory with the funny Christmas team. It's still being iterated on. It's funny how it kind of started out as a joke, and then it kind of became just a team that people are playing with that Articuno, with the Dondozo. It beats a lot of teams, and the Ogerpon and the Incineroar especially, giving it the tools to beat the Iron Crown, which is definitely its worst matchup. In any case, we've had pizza over here this entire time. I'm going to go eat some, and we will meet back for round number 3. Don't go anywhere.